and gentlemen, a heart that listens, a voice heard is nothing without a heart that listens. A heart that listens is nothing without a soul that's sincere. Government team, I was the heart that listened, but it's time for me to make my voice heard. Ladies and gentlemen, where does opposition stand in today's debate? We tell you how we want a guaranteed job for the time being. A few things to prove to you. We have to prove to you why Malaysia has still not transitioned into a job market of degrees and why degrees are the minimum standard of qualification, ladies and gentlemen. A few rebuttals and responses towards government's whole case, right? First rebuttal. Their definition of success is being able to have enough income to support a family. Three responses towards that. First response, we tell you how they contradicted and tell us how the stigmatization of teenagers or stigmatism of teenagers wanting to become doctors exist or have jobs with high income actually exist, right? Now understand that it's an actors debate, and even if we do condone to your definition of average teenagers acting as teens that struggle, right? We tell you how they respond. We tell you that our decision that we made as an actor in this debate has to revolve around the stigma that the majority of teenagers actually agreed on. So we tell you that the stigma of teenagers wanting to become doctors and having a career in these trifecta jobs is the average teenager's thought, right? And fourth response, let's conclude this rebuttal as a whole. Government contradicts themselves, not knowing who they actually have to stand for. And number two, we tell you how their overall definition is not only incorrect, but it's also contradictory. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to my second rebuttal. Government with classic... What's my second rebuttal? Okay, they tell us how there are still jobs that have... we can pursue jobs through the pursuit of passion, right? And not through the pursuit of success and actually earning enough money, right? Two responses towards that. They never proved to us how jobs with passion does not need a degree or even higher level of education. Secondly, I respect the pursuit of success in your case, right? But in the case of the story you told government with, the jobs pursued are not because of passion, but it's because they were forced to do it, and it was because they had to do it for themselves. So we tell you the arisement of jobs in people who are struggling are jobs that are not based on passion, are jobs that are not chosen. And that's why we tell you their definition of average teenagers becoming the person of low average contradicts with this whole argument and their whole case as a whole. Now let's talk about the issues discussed in this debate that we both sides condone on. Basically, it's mainly two issues. The first issue becoming the guarantee of job. Which side actually guarantees jobs more, and which side caters towards these teenagers actually having a stable income in the future. And secondly, is the overall effectiveness in the pursuit of success acting as a teenager as an active debate, right? Let's move on to my first issue in today's debate that will be discussed by both sides. The guarantee of job. Which side actually guarantees jobs, right? Let's talk about opposition. Let's put it into comparative. We proved how higher education, including KV and TVET, is the minimum standard of qualification to get jobs. And as per my second speaker, we could trade off, as my second speaker said, we trade off the fees we will pay with the extent of getting a guaranteed job based on high level of education being the minimum standard, right? Now, even if we condone, fine, I'll take a few, right?
What about guaranteed jobs on our sides, like insurance agents, masseurs, and physiotherapists, where you don't have to study, but you can get the job guaranteed?
Insurance agents, chiropractors.
No, not chiropractor, physiotherapy. That you
Okay. Forgot what you said. Okay, in response to that, I didn't really catch that in your speech, maybe because I was too cold, but what I can say to that is, government has to prove to us why, number one, these jobs do not need a high level of education, but at the same time we tell you how our pursuit of success and our definition of pursuing success in teenagers is to actually have a stable income of jobs that we actually want to do, right? Now let's talk about my second speaker and the trade-off that she made. She told us how we will trade off the fees we will pay to the extent of getting a guaranteed job based on high level of education being the minimum standard. Right? Now, even if we condone to the fact that these degrees are not guaranteed us to get us the trifecta of jobs, being doctors, engineers, and lawyers based on what you guys said, right? We proved and believed how the bare minimum of actually having the qualification will get you other jobs that still have a reasonable amount of pay, right? Now what does government then tell you? They tell you how they want instant success, ignoring the actual probability of failure. Now why do I say this? I say this because of four reasons. Number one, they assumed teens can self-learn. Number 2, they never prove why these jobs are easier to pursue. And number 3, they contradicted and tries to gaslight us into believing and forgetting the fact that they did characterize KV and TMAT as higher education. I'm at 5 minutes. Let's move on to my second. Yeah, I have a lot more. That's what I mean. Let's move on to my second issue, right? The overall effectiveness in the pursuit of success, right? Let's talk about 2 things. Firstly, Malaysia has yet to become a country that does not need a degree or certified level of higher education to pursue jobs yet, right? Now, degrees, and secondly, degrees are the minimum standard of qualification, right? Let's move on to the practical definition of success. How do we define success on our side? We tell you how the success is getting high income jobs that give us enough money. As my first speaker explained how instances of companies not having people with a degree. This looks like big companies such as Petronas, right? Now the transition of not really needing a degree has yet to be explained by opposition. And why is it so important to have a high income job? Based on 3 things. It is an actors debate and we're acting as an average teenager. Based on a reasonable man's test, the definition of success is to have a lot of money and everyone has the want to work in these big companies, right? Now why is it then so harmful for us to not have a degree? We prove how degrees are the minimum standard of qualification, and as an average teenager, when we understand the minimum quality education, it affects us in 2 ways. 2 things. Number 1, we talk about social influence and pressure based on my second speaker. And number 2, talk about the obligation to actually work harder for us to achieve what we want. How does social influence then affect us and how it affects us as teenagers? Let's talk about practicality, about mental health, and also giving less opportunities, as we said my second speaker, right? Now what does government say in this issue? They tell you how having a degree is not guaranteed a job, but we tell you how the potential of having a job in our side is better as comparative to their side of instant success, where they failed to address the extent of failure or the expense of failure on their side, and never addressed why passion is not needed and does not need a higher level of education. And that's why by now I end on this note. We have a vision, we have a mission, make the right decision.
I thank the opposition for closing up the argumentative, for his fine speech, closing up the argumentative portion of the debate. Now I invite the opposition reply to add on his material.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can either stay in the cloudy days of side opposition, unable to qualify for any basic job or just basic office jobs in Malaysia, or you can stay and come to the sunny beach sunshines of side opposition, where you are able to get a chance for you to buy yourself your own ticket to Panama. Now let's look at what has been said and what has not been said in this debate today. First things first, I believe that what side government should have tried to push more is the fact that the world is changing and you don't really need any degrees. Things like ACCA, like ACAD Chartered certification, things like this has the same level of respect like degrees, but you don't need to go to school for it. These things exist already, and and there is a trend moving towards these jobs not being able to take degrees. These things exist, however, side government did not talk anything about that. So first, let's go into what they really said. They said that companies want real people oh my god, it's so cold, man, who has real work experience. They say that they want to take people that has 4 years of work experience. But from where, ladies and gentlemen, never answered by my question. If they've been working at T-Life for 4 years, if they've been working as a farmer for 5 years, do you think you can relate that is better that is better for Petronas to pick you over someone that has a degree? I don't think so. No, nothing answered on that side. Second thing, they said about passion. He said that he wants to become a zoology because he is passionate about it. But understand that even zoology needs a degree. So you don't need to talk about being a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, all the basic things. Right now, in statistical still needs a degree, and I'm sorry, even your zoology part. Let's look at second thing. They talk about it. They say that the economy, the job industry in Malaysia is oversaturated. In some part, I agree. However, it's not oversaturated. It is that everyone has the minimum standard of qualification. You need to change your attitude of degrees from being a guaranteed job into a minimum standard of qualifications for you to be able to even apply for a job in the first place. That's what you need to understand. That's the attitude that you need to understand. Secondly, even if you say that oversaturated, yes, maybe you have too many people in that one industry, but the point is with a degree you are able to transition to other industries because of a degree easier, such as going to being a teacher, which needs a degree, but it's easier to become one. Secondly, I'm sorry to blow your bubbles. Is that how it works? I'm sorry to blow or put make your balloon explode. However, you have given us inaccurate examples on your own speech. Number one, you said that your mother, I'm very sorry, but it was below average. However, let's look at the motion. It wants to talk about average. Let's take the averageness of the motion. You also said your uncle. However, you also said he was a genius. So let's take out the averageness of this motion. What I'm saying, what side opposition is saying, as an average teenager or as an average person, the chances of you to get a job or the chances of you to be able to maybe do something in life is with a higher education because it is already a minimum standard of qualification. Without it, yes, you can go to formal, yes, you can go to the line, but I've explained to you why these things are not good enough because they are, number one, they are stagnant. Human needs and they want some progression, they want to get something new every single day. Secondly, they have, and let's talk about your physiotherapy and an insurance agent. Number one, it is stagnant, and number two, it's risk. I'm guessing that insurance agent, you're doing it yourself, it's a self-business, and because AIA still needs a minimum degree for you to work there. So let's understand what this debate about. This debate is about the average person, the averageness, and we believe without a degree, you can't be the average person in Malaysia. Thank you.
Speaker spoke for 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I invite government to close up the debate. Yeah, not the one with the broken arm. No, just kidding. Huh?
My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Chair. At the end of the day, the debate boils down to two things. Which career path will guarantee a more stable future? We agree that it's better on our side because we have an actual stable career from the insurance agents, truck drivers, and welfare agents. And unless sign-off can show the problem of the degrees overall not being affordable, not being able to complete to the highest degree, to achieve the merits that sign-off claims, you are not better off than the rest. So the entire rebuttal about passion seems to assume and to insinuate that we don't agree with, like we have passion, sure, but you see, they seem to assume that passion is only thing because passion only exists in no further education, but we basically never mention it because they keep talking about it. Of course, we agree that sure, you might have passion in this degree, but then if I want to be a fisherman, fishing my life in and watching the incredible sunsets, I should have the right to do that. So now it seems that side government with opposition we have two contradictory things about success. It's passion versus money. Because no matter how many bling bling you get, if you don't have the passion doing the job where you slave away for 50 hours and 50 years of your life, it basically makes no sense. Because if let's say I was a lawyer and I work my ass off, and then in the end I retire in a coastal village while spending my free time fishing, isn't it better to just become a fisherman? So their entire case does not fly at all. Every single point they have brought up is easy. We have clearly rebutted it, and it seems to be clearly contradictory. So, let's talk about money. Our side, we have already clearly mentioned that we have clearly more risk than on their side, and yet they do not want to talk about it, and they keep on pushing the narrative that we make more money, we have less risk, we have this, and talking about Malaysia. And also about Malaysia being what both sides seems to have argued about how Malaysia is okay. This side says that Malaysia like it's need to have further education. This side says no. But we agree. But it seems that after analysing properly, it seems that our case has clearly been much more better because in today's society, today's status quo, it is so much more safer. It's so much more better. It's a better guarantee to in fact just get a normal job rather than taking this thing. And then also about their kind of rebuttal or something about the below average, above average. These are cases where even though people are above average, even though people are below average, they still can make it. So what is to say that the average person can make it too? So with all of this said, it seems to be very clear that our side has clearly won this debate, and am very proud to propose.
Yeah.